Hey guys, so I'm super excited for this video. I'm going to be doing a DIY craft. As you can see, I have a bunch of art supplies around me. I am going to be doing Minnie ears. So I'm going to be using this headband, probably this black one, to make Minnie ears. I'm going to be going to Disney in 2 weeks, and I just got engaged to David. So I'm going to be doing engagement Minnie ears, specifically for this coming trip. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So I have this headband and this wire. It's kind of a thick wire, and I think it's gonna be perfect, and it's actually already about the size that one of the ears are gonna have to be. So it's probably gonna be super easy to cut the right size circles for the Minnie ears. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is using this wire to make my Minnie ears. So I have these wire cutters that David showed me how to use, and I'm just going to cut a little bit past one of the circles so I have enough to wrap around my headband. So I have my black headband right here, and I'm just going to lay down one of my circles and make one more that's about the same size. So the first thing I'm going to do with this wire is make a little bend forward like this, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. So this wire bends pretty easily, so I don't really need to use these pliers. I do have pliers just in case I need to do any tightening of the wires around the headband, but let's see. Okay, so what it looks like right now is just a circle with two little pieces of the wire bent up, and I'm going to lay that inside of my headband. And the next thing I'll be doing is bending these pieces forward and wrapping them around the headband. Alright, so I have one of my ears on. You can see it right here. I think it's a pretty good shape, and I'm not really worried about the shape of the headband. I'm going to be adjusting that once I have both of my ears on and I have them in the right spot that I want them to be. But I think that's a pretty good size ear. So I'm just going to do exactly what I did for this ear on the other side. Okay, so I officially have both of my ear wires on my headband, and I think they are basically even, and they look cute so far. So the next step is going to be designing what is going in the middle of my ears. So I'm going to be using this foam board to create a Mickey hand that I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to have the Mickey hand with a little ring on the Mickey hand inside of one of the ears. And then on the other ear, I think I'm going to have a little heart that's going to say, "I said yes." And I will be using this sparkly foam sheet on top of white foam to do that part. And I'm probably going to be painting the Mickey hand. I have white, red, and black paint, so I can paint whatever design I want on my Mickey ear. And then the way I'm going to attach the foam to the set of ears is with wire, and I have a thinner wire. It's rose gold, but it'll be covered with ribbon at the end, and I'm going to stick this wire inside of the foam with some hot glue, and then I will wrap that piece around the headband. So I printed out 3 different size Mickey hands. I just googled a clip art and printed 3 different sizes because I wasn't sure how big to print the Mickey hand, but I'm going to use one of these as a stencil. So I'm sticking this inside of my Minnie ear just to see about which one would fit the best, and I think the smallest one that I printed fits perfectly inside of my Minnie ear. So I'm going to be using that one as my stencil. So now I'm going to cut that out. Okay, so I have my little Mickey hand cut out and it's super cute. So I'm going to use this as a stencil for my phone. I'm going to trace this and then cut it out on the phone. Okay, so I officially have my little Mickey hand cut out in foam, so it's kind of thick, and now I'm going to be painting the black outline and these three little lines that Mickey's hand has onto my foam with this black paint. Have my little Mickey hand all painted, and then once the front dries I'm going to be doing the back, because since these are wire ears, once this little hand is inside of the ear, I want to be able to see the same hand with the ring from the back. So I'm going to wait till this dries and then I will paint the same design on the back. So while my Mickey hand is drying, the front is drying, I'm going to start making my mini bow for my Minnie ears. So I've decided I'm going to go with a red classic mini bow for my Minnie ears. So I'm going to be using this red ribbon, and then for the center of the bow I have this sparkly red ribbon that I'm going to use in the center. The reason why I know how to make bows is actually I did cheerleading for like 12 years of my life, and I always made my own cheer bows for practices. So I've gotten pretty good at making bows in general out of ribbon. So I'm just going to use that same technique that I used for my cheer bows for this mini bow. After I've made my two little loops on each side of my bow, I'm just going to use a rubber band for the middle so that way I can adjust the way my bow looks and not use hot glue just yet, so that way it's a little bit more flexible. So I think I've got my bow about the size that I want it to. I'm going to use this sparkly ribbon for the middle of my bow, so when I wrap it around, it'll be sparkly in the middle. So I'm actually going to wrap this ribbon around the entire headband and the bow, so that way it helps the bow stay secure on the headband as well as giving it decoration, so that way I can use a little bit less hot glue. I'm going to use hot glue while I attach this ribbon to the headband, but it's going to make it a little bit more secure instead of just wrapping the sparkly ribbon around the bow and then figuring out a way to attach it to the headband. So I had a little bit of extra ribbon, so what I did was I created a knot in the back, so that way I actually don't really need to use hot glue now, but I'm probably going to add some just for a little bit of extra security. But the knot worked out pretty easily, so now I can just snip this off and then hot glue the knot just so it doesn't come apart. But I think the bow looks really cute so far. And my main goal was to not have a big bow. Normally, if I were making mini ears for myself, I would want a big bow. I'm all bow. But since I have the little hand that's going to be in this mini ear, I don't want it to be covered by the bow, so I made sure to make a little bit of a smaller bow, just so that way my Mickey hand can be seen on this side, and then the heart that's going to say, I said yes, is seen from the front and the back of the mini ears. Okay, now that my bow is done, I'm going to get started on my heart that's going to say I said yes, that is going to go in this mini ear. I haven't really decided how I'm going to do this, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. so I think I decided I'm going to keep the center of the heart white, and I realized that this foam, the sparkly foam, has adhesive on the back, so I'm going to outline this white heart in the red sparkly heart, because I think that if the whole entire heart was this red, it might be a little bit too red with my big red bow. So I think if I accent the red or the white heart with the red, it's gonna look a little bit less cluttered on the ears. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to trace this heart, which is the actual foam heart that I'm going to use, onto this red, so that way I can use it as an outline for the white heart. Okay, so I officially added the red outline to my heart, and it actually looks really, really good. Now, I know that I'm using foam, so if it rains, I'm probably going to have to immediately take my ears off so that way that it doesn't run or ruin the foam. But, I mean, I really just wanted to make these ears for pictures at Disney, so, I mean, I hope they last, but longevity wasn't really my goal here. It was more just for some decoration and just a little fun activity to do. I officially have my heart done, and my heart is going to end up going in this ear, so I think it's the perfect size to fit. And so I think the way I'm going to attach it is I'm going to add some hot glue to the edges of the ear, as well as sticking a piece of this wire inside of the bottom, and then adding hot glue to that, and then wrapping it around the headband. I feel like that's going to keep it secure enough so that way it's not moving around or can fall off the ear. Because it is a freestanding piece on the ears, but that's kind of the look I was going for. So hopefully that works, and hopefully it stays and doesn't fall off the ear. But that's my plan as of right now. So here is a little update on the pieces of my Minnie ears. I have my Mickey hand, which is almost dry. It's still a little bit wet. And then I have the heart that says I said yes, which I hand painted. It says it on both sides, so that way when it's in the Minnie ear, you can see it on both sides of the ears. And then now all I'm gonna have to do is, once these dry, I'm going to attach them to about here and here with the wire. Then I'm going to wrap my headband with either red, maybe just black ribbon. And then I have this silver paint. I'm going to draw on a ring. And then I have these little gems, which I am going to also glue onto the ring finger of my Mickey on both sides, so that way it matches my actual engagement ring. So I'm super excited, but I'm going to wait until these pieces both dry. So while those pieces dry, I bought this strip, well, these are strips of rhinestones, and I am gonna see if it works. I'm not sure if it will, but I'm going to line the sides of my Minnie ear wires with these rhinestones just to add a little bit of extra sparkle. I kind of want this entire bow, Minnie ears, to sparkle a lot. So here is a little close-up on how I did the back of the bow, how I attached it with some hot glue and a knot. But that will all be covered with the black ribbon that I'm going to be using to cover up my entire headband. So I'm going to wrap this entire thing with black. So all of this behind the scenes will end up being covered with my black ribbon. Okay, so I just added the rhinestones. The adhesive that the rhinestones already had actually was really sticky, so I didn't need to add any hot glue. I don't see these rhinestones coming off, but I was able to cut them right down the line of rhinestones, so that way it was all connected already. And so I think that looks really good. And so now I'm going to do that to the other ear. So from the front, you can kind of tell that there's the rhinestones, but from the side, that's where it's really going to pop. So I officially added all of the rhinestones, and it is super sparkly. I also added a little bit of the rhinestones in the middle just to see what it would look like, and I'm kind of digging it. So this entire Minnie ear set is going to be super sparkly. But now I'm still waiting for those pieces to dry, but once those are dry, I'm going to add those with the wire to the center of the ears and then wrap my entire ear set, and I think I'll be done. Okay, so the process was pretty simple. All I did was add the wire. I stuck a hole with the wire into both of these foam pieces, and then I added a little bit of hot glue underneath, and then I wrapped the wire around my entire headband. So it looks kind of messy right now from the back, but I think it looks really good so far, and they're pretty secure. The heart, I added a little bit of hot glue to the edge of my ear, just so that way it was pretty stable. I still have some hot glue string kind of sticking out, but I'll get that all cleaned up. And then now all I will have to do is wrap my entire headband with black ribbon, and then these ears are going to be finished. So here are the completed Minnie ears. And here is the back. I'm super excited to wear these in 2 weeks when I go to the Magic Kingdom with my family. I'm going to be sure to take tons of photos. So be sure to subscribe because David and I do lots of videos. We try to post 2 times a week, but we do tons of fun videos and we'd like you to keep watching. Thanks.